Hi guys, my name is James. Welcome back to the #1 car salesman podcast in the world, the Lot Walkers. I'm here with the co-producers, Justin Upperman and Kyle Trexler.
How we doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're excited for today.
Eating.
We got some pretty good conversation ahead of this.
Before we start, can I bring up one point?
Do it.
We got our first comment, and it was a hate
Straight
comment.
hate. Oh yeah.
I love it.
But
Keep
we
it coming,
love you guys, yeah.
Any comment's good. You know,
Yeah.
hate or good. If you hate us, just let us know, because
A win is a win.
Yeah.
We're gonna ruffle your feathers with today's episode
Yeah.
too. So
Might even turn into a little bit of a debate.
oh,
What we're-
100%.
What we're going to be talking about is Andy Elliott and the effect that he's had on the car industry. He's now a personal trainer. If you guys don't already know who he is, he used to sell cars, claims to be one of the best in the world. He started his own sales program, almost like a life coach now. But we're going to be talking about him, and I'm really excited to get into it. We didn't really discuss on who was going to make the first claim or the first point. So I think it's sort of just safe to hop into it.
I can give it a start.
Yeah, let's
you
go
know?
for it.
So, with me and Andy Elliott, I would say, for the most part, he's put a positive impact on my life, and I think you'd probably agree with this too. You know, even before we got into car sales and stuff of that sort, just sort of watching him as a role model of a man. You know, like family first, God first, take care of yourself. That way you can take care of the people you love. And that main message there is something that I really like, and I think that you know, is something that this world needs more of. Now, I do agree that some of his tactics are a little extreme, you know, like, take off your shirt, take off your shirt.
Like that's a little over the top to me, but at the same time, you know, it proves a point that
It's accountability.
yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, people don't like forced accountability. I think that is probably one of the hardest things for humans to do is take accountability. It's a muscle that you have to exercise. And I love the fact that he does exercise it a lot and he forces people to do so. Is it always optimal for people to do that, to take accountability? Not always. I think depending on who you are, it can be a lot easier than that. But some people need to be pushed, you know. And I do like the idea that he's willing to be that guy to do so. There's always got to be one that pushes the line a little bit.
So now I'm gonna interject
Go for it.
because I'm on the other end of the spectrum where, like, I think Andy Elliott as a whole, right? Like, if you step back, like, can you nitpick certain aspects that are conducive to the message that what you want to take from it? Yes, right? But, like, the problem, I feel like it almost becomes, in a sense, a trap, is if somebody's not, I don't even want to say smart enough, but like if somebody can't do that, right? Like just take the pieces that make them better
yeah,
and rather focus on the wholeality of it,
whole
right?
picture,
Like,
yeah.
because if you're like, you see Andy Elliott's videos and are like, I'm going to go sell cars and I'm going to sell 100 cars a month and make that much money. You know what I mean? And like the other thing is, it's like, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to prove it, in my opinion, right? And so, like, I'm not ever gonna, like, you guys know me well enough, but I'm not one to cut around the bush, so to speak. So, like, for me, like, I watched his videos before I started selling cars, right? And it's definitely, like, motivating, and it's definitely, like, hunger driving, right? And, like, but these are all just my opinions. I feel like his sales tactics are outdated,
yeah.
right? They're
I could agree with that. Yeah,
very 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So like if you try to apply them now, and I know you guys have experience with this, but like if you put on too much pressure now, it's not like it used to be where it would work. Like now it's like you're one off from hitting bonus, you start pressuring people too hard, you never hit bonus, right?
yeah,
That's
I feel
happened,
that.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
like the other thing for me is like if he was really selling that many cars, and you guys know there are negative comments out there about it, like why haven't we seen wash sheets? Why haven't we seen actual like pay stubs? You know what I mean? Because like if somebody really wanted to call out like how much money I was making and I was in that public figure spectrum, like look at like guys like that are making big money off of YouTube ad revenue that are like, here, you know, like, what's that guy that plays Fortnite all the time? Ninja, right? Like, dude, straight up, like, yeah, this is how much I get paid off YouTube videos. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then on the flip side, like, I'm very into the stock market. Justin knows I'm pretty into the stock market. Like, I treat people that are selling programs or training services. I mean, we just ran into it with somebody off TikTok too, right? Like, if you're pitching, like, selling a service, it's because you wanted to make more money than what you were doing before, right? And then, like, the same idea with, like, the stock market. It's like, okay, if you were making, like, speaking for personal opinion here, but, like, if I was making, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars trading options on the stock market, I wouldn't be showing other people how to do it. Like, maybe that's the greedy side to it for me. I don't know.
Well,
but
I understand what you're saying, because from going into certain spaces as young as I am, like I like to think that for as young as I am, I've met a lot of people who are in, like, the shark world,
Right.
and I do notice that sometimes less is said to keeps, for
Right.
keeps.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and so, yeah, because at the end of the day, a lot of what you can make with money is just with your information.
Right.
And I mean, that's even what these guys are. Like, that's what Andy Elliott is he's selling himself.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's putting on a persona, and he's making it look like he's the number one guy and that you should listen to him.
Right.
But while also he's saying that, he's also building the value. It's almost like selling a car. He's building the
Right.
value in himself by doing, like, what he
And-
says for, like, objections, whatever the case may be. I do watch him a lot. I was watching him the other day, and I've used a lot of his tactics, and they
Right.
work. The only thing that I don't really do that he does is any, like, thing for closing, I don't. When it comes anything to building the close, I do, because he does that perfectly, and I
Right.
love that. But when it comes to the actual close, I do sort of my own thing.
Yeah.
I do word tracks, but it's more of just trying to figure out where everything needs to be in order to get it done.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that I can get behind, right? And it's back kind of full circle to taking pieces.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely a good sales guy. Like,
He's got the attitude, he's got the energy.
Yeah, and he couldn't sell cars anymore. Just stuff we probably don't have to get into.
Yeah.
But so it's like, okay, like and that's why, like, I have two kind of firm beliefs, and I tell this to people all the time. Like, I am a firm believer that you should either work in a service industry, like a restaurant, at some point in your life, or you should work in sales. The service industry thing is great for the sake of, like, teaching you how to take care of people, right? Or
Hospitality.
Hospitality in a nutshell, right? Like, those are skills that you can carry into anything. But, like, the best way to make a bunch of money with it is bartending, right? Because, like, tip revenue, right?
Yeah.
If you rely on tips, you're going to give better service. And then it's the same thing, like, anytime you're introduced into a sales role, like, it's make or break here. Like, you guys know, we're commission-based people.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't have people to put in seats, I don't make money,
Yeah.
right? But I think where that line gets gray is when you're looking just for money and not for a living, right? But then, like, the other thing is, it's like, even if he is, like, a really good salesman, it's like, where I kind of draw the line, and it's like, just like my kind of hard stopping point, because obviously, like, I have religious tattoos. I mean, we've talked about it before. I also consider myself a religious person. Like, where it kind of irritates me is, like, so some of the stuff that, like, he got in trouble for was, like, bribing a bank person at a Bible study, right? And then, like, part of the other thing that, like, gets to me is, like, the lying, right? I'm not a big, like, oh yeah, 100 cars a month. Like, it's like, dude, I knew like, my best friend that I lived with in Pittsburgh worked at one of the busiest dealerships in Pittsburgh. And now, granted, like, I don't know other states, like, what is or isn't possible because of how compliance differs. But, like, I could tell you, in the state of Pennsylvania, like, there's no way you're selling 100 cars a month unless, like,
You're pushing people in the loan.
Unless you're a store.
Yeah, unless you're a store or
Or a
unless
broker.
70% of your clientele are buying fleets,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because like the thing is, like my buddy,
Yeah, you got to be tapped into something good.
right? Like my buddy worked at one of the busiest dealerships in Pittsburgh, right? Which is a major city in our area, right? And like hit the ground running. He would be there from the minute they opened to the minute they closed. So we're talking 12-hour days, right? And he would talk to every single person that wasn't already with somebody. He's like, that's how I did it. Is I would go up and talk to anybody, like I didn't care. And he was selling like 33 cars a month, right? And that's like living at the dealership.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I don't do that here, which is probably why I don't sell 33 cars a month, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But on the flip side, it's like, I like even here, right? Like on a busy month where you're up in the numbers, it's like I have a hard time doing all the compliance paperwork on a busy month here, right? So imagine how much paperwork you would have to do
Yeah.
to sell 100 cars, especially if they were 100 cars
Yeah,
each to
it's-
different
you
people.
need an assistant.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
you need a team for sure.
And
So
here's the thing, like when I bought that book a while back and read through it and everything like that. I did start jotting down in it too a little bit here or there. But the thing is like you can use these word tracks and they probably will work. But I feel like either way, like if you're reading through these, you're gonna eventually develop your own style.
Yeah.
So, it gives you a good base to work from. But the thing with me is like, is Andy Elliott a good salesperson or not? I don't really look at that. I look at more of the energy that he brings into the.
Keep going.
Oh yeah, I'll just sit here and talk to myself.
Continue.
But
1 second.
what I was explaining to young James here is, can Andy Elliott sell cars or not? I don't know.
I don't think
we
it's.
don't really know.
I don't think it's that he can't sell cars though, because
What
I
I-
feel like he could.
What I look more into, Kyle, is like the energy that he
Right.
gives, like
Yeah.
because it's like 100. If you put your life into it, it will eventually
Yeah.
pay off, and that works with any area in life too. And I think
Well-
that he would advocate for that himself too.
Yeah, and so I think that's a really good point though for the people watching at home, because like I think if there's anything I've learned, and I think you guys could probably like reciprocate this too, is like in sales, like I have like my own pretty firm moral lines of like what I will or won't do, right? And thankfully we work at a dealership that like crosses their T's, dot their I's as far as like compliance goes and what we're willing to sell and not
Yeah.
sell. So we don't really have to worry about like selling anything that like would make us feel bad about what we're selling.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's like I've definitely realized in my last year of selling cars that like energy is everything.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
how you go into something, how you present something, how you treat a customer, how you interact with a customer. Like if you go into it fucking dogging it like, oh, I don't want to be here today,
Yeah,
they're not gonna
yeah.
want to buy a car off of you. Like it's just
And I think we've all experienced guys that are in and out of here that have that energy that you sort of gotta
right.
stay away from.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that you bring that up, because in this first page, right? I don't want to take too long, right? But in this very first page, he talks about the state of buying.
Yeah.
All right, and let me just quote this so it makes sense to all you guys and for the context. So, let me ask you a question. Start off like this. Let me ask you a question. Do you buy something when you're in a bad mood?
Not usually, no.
No. The answer is no. People buy when they are in a buying state. A buying state is a state of happiness without stress or worries. Think about it. Most of the time when you've purchased anything, you were more than likely in a good mood, right? And we're in a state to want to say yes. The
Right.
top salespeople in the world know how to put their customers in a state every time.
Yeah.
So how does this happen? It starts with the seller management. Seller management is when the seller makes sure before making contact with the customer that they have great attitude and energy. It begins with the salesperson first. It's not qualifying the customer first anymore. Most salespeople go straight to qualifying the customer before they qualify themselves. This is so backwards. What gives you the right to do that? Are you giving them your hard-earned money, or are they giving it to you?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I think, mindset going into it, 100% is it. Like, and sometimes too, you gotta push yourself to be in a good mood.
Yeah. Oh,
It-
definitely.
Like a lot of the times.
I think
Yeah.
sometimes it can come down to something as simple as making your bed in the morning,
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Well, and something so
getting
that,
the lift in before you come to work,
yeah, and
stuff
so
of that sort. Just carrying that positive energy and keeping it moving forward.
right, and that's where like obviously I have a slightly different viewpoint than you guys do having a kid, right? And
Yeah.
another one on the way is it's like there are definitely times where like I could take that excuse and be like, dude, I didn't sleep last night, like I feel like crap,
Yeah.
like I don't really want to be here today, but it's like when you need to sell a car, like customer isn't worried about whether or
Yeah.
not I got 2 hours
Yeah.
of sleep. They're
Or
worried
not,
about
yeah.
what's going on with the car and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everything about it. And so that's where you're right. Like you got to check yourself. And that's why, like, I don't think he's a bad salesperson. Like, I think he does have really strong sales skills. I think he did do a really good job of like putting it on paper into a book. That's a prime example of that. Like, it's definitely not so much that I don't like what he's doing. I think some of where I just have an issue with him is like how he was doing it.
So
right?
like the credibility of what he's done in the past, kind of thing. Like it's damaged your perspective on it.
Yeah, man, because it's like, oh man, let me think of a really good analogy to basically put it into scope. Like where I kind of, it falls apart for me, right, is it's like, imagine you have a roller coaster engineer, right? And this roller coaster engineer has put every roller coaster in every major amusement park in America, every Six Flags, Disney, everything, right? And he comes to you and he's like, hey man, I have a book that will make you the best roller coaster builder in the world. And all you have to do is read it, follow my advice, and you can go do all the same things, right? And you'll have the life you want, everything you ever needed. You'll never have to worry about anything. And then 5 years down the line, you find out that one of his roller coasters killed 10 people, and that's why he's not making
Making
roller
it.
coasters anymore. Now he's selling a book, right?
Yeah.
Only obviously we're not talking life or death here, but like there is, at least from my research, court documents out there showing that he did take part in some stuff that he probably shouldn't have taken part of. And I think like when you're a sales guy, right, like your reputation is everything. I
Yeah.
mean, we've even seen it in Erie a couple times, and that's why a few dealerships have closed over the years, is because whether it be people in the finance office or whether it be people, you know, in the upper management, like there's a reason compliance is there. There's a reason things need to be done a certain way, and I think that's where he just kind of lost me.
Yeah.
But like I do still like the roots of it.
Yeah.
Like I like the ideology behind it, and I think if you're somebody that's like never been in sales and you want to get into sales, it's a good thing to kind of like use to grow your basket, right? But like my word of caution, I guess, would be is like just don't go like all in on that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because like I think we've already hit on it in the podcast a little bit, but like car sales is so fluid. Like, and now with like AI and everything that's happening with technology, it's like I don't think AI is gonna take our jobs, but I do think AI is gonna drastically change the way we sell cars,
And
right?
it assists in a way too.
Yeah, because like imagine when somebody can pull up Chat GPT on their phone and be like, "Hey, am I getting a good deal? These are what all the numbers are," and then it spits out a thing of like what invoices, you know, and all this other stuff, and then it's like, okay, like
Yeah, and I think it's gonna assist everybody essentially, you know.
Yeah.
And another thing like with Andy like messing up in the past too, like I really try not to look at that because like James says, it's just bits and pieces. And he's
Right.
not the only person I'm getting bits and pieces from. You know, I'm getting
Right.
it from our managers, our finance managers,
Yeah.
service manager, talking to other people in the business too. You know, then there's other influencers or coaches you could say that are out there producing content as well that you can absorb from. You know,
Yeah.
so
definitely.
And I think too, I mean, I guess this was never really going to turn into a debate because you never hated him,
Right.
right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
if you hated him strictly off of the lack of credibility
Yeah.
for his experience, I would bring up Jordan Belfort.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, I've even
Oh,
listened
man.
to. I actually still to this day still take advice from him too.
Right.
Does that mean I'm gonna I mean, I love the movie. Shout
Do
out
coke
Wall
off a
Street.
hooker's ass and jump
Yeah.
off a building.
Yeah. I mean, is it ideal?
We gotta watch, man. That might not be safe for the guidelines
You
for
gotta
YouTube.
block that one out. Keep it.
Yeah, throw in some beeps.
But another thing too, going back to the whole like AI conversation, I love too that Andy actually sort of touches not on the AI, but
Yeah.
he touches on the experience.
Right.
And what he says right here, too, and this is almost some peace of mind, security for us, to just make sure that our jobs aren't going to be taken over by robots. But every high ticket item sold was designed to come with a buying experience.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, if you guys sort of stayed up on the first podcast, even I think I remember bringing up like there's an emotion to this process.
Yeah.
And that's one
For
thing
sure.
that we want to keep sort of intact.
Yeah. And that's the nice part too, is it's like, it's funny because like if you're thinking about making sales a career and you're already like watching a lot of those videos, getting into sales is a lot like buying a car.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the sense that like do your own research, take bits and pieces from everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like the other thing that I think, and it's maybe I haven't read enough of his stuff personally, or maybe I haven't watched enough of his videos, but like I think if it were me and I were training a sales guy, like, hey, here's the bones, right? I think that's what he does a really good job of, is setting up the bones,
base.
right? The base,
Yeah.
the building blocks, the foundation, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, like, if you're, you know, if somebody pours your footers on your house for you, like, it's very rare the same person that pours the footers on your house is the same person that's architecting the interior design, right?
Yeah.
So I think I think that gap needs to be bridged, and maybe Andy will watch this video and take my advice. Who knows? Crazy if he did, but like what I would say is like he needs to figure out a way to stress people that they need to take the things he's telling them and the skills he's trying to set forth and make it their own.
Yeah.
Because I figured out as soon as I like made this process my own, in my own spin of it, and
Yeah.
with my own touch, is when I found success.
And that's the thing too, is that everybody has their own style
Yeah.
with anything.
Exactly.
And I think I remember when me and him were first starting, I was writing out an email and he was looking at me like, why don't you say it like this? And I
Right.
was like,
Yeah.
you can say it like that, but I'm saying it like this. You know, 'cause
Right.
we all have our own ways
Yeah.
of saying things, ways of elaborating ourselves and our product. So
Yeah.
it's just what it
Well,
is, you know?
and to that point too, just like we have all our own ways of interpreting things or saying things or doing things, I think one of the other things that like you guys have picked up really quickly, and like, I know, is like the customers also react very differently to everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's like one person might
Yeah.
want you to jam them in a car because they're on a time crunch and they need to get the heck out of here and they're just ready to take delivery, but somebody else might want to drive every single version of a new
Yeah.
vehicle to see what they like the most.
Ride-a-rama.
The ride-a-rama, man. And it's like, obviously, if you took, you know, if you were dead set on a sales tactic you saw in a YouTube video the night before
Yeah.
about like, hey man, this is safe for your family, this is safe for your family, and then, you know, they actually want the 5.0 Mustang
Yeah.
that's labeled as the crowd killer, it might not go as well,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I think it's just, there's a lot of, you know, like psychology there that he does a really good job of playing into to get people like views and
Yeah.
people engaged in his
Because
stuff.
one thing that I picked up from him too that I see makes a huge difference in giving the customer a good experience is great customer service. Just bringing up the hospitality aspect of everything.
Right.
I worked as a hostess, but anyways, yeah, giving them the customer service that they deserve. You know, everybody who walks in here and it is gonna sort of not be like disrespectful to us, like still treat us like human, should be given the experience like
Yeah.
it's almost their birthday.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I mean,
It is a big day too.
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
coming in to get a new car.
I remember when I bought my car.
Yeah.
I remember like
And it's funny too, because I'm sure you guys have probably had a couple now, especially as like our careers have kind of grown together. But like I've had people come in that are like, oh yeah, I don't get excited anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how do you not get excited about driving a new car off the lot? Because this is the second biggest thing we buy in our lives.
Yeah.
The only thing more expensive than your car normally is a house. Now, there are oddballs out there, like if you go buy $100,000 boat or whatever, right? But
Private jet.
yeah, but for, or a private jet, right?
Oh,
but
my
for,
copter.
yeah, but for a majority of people, like,
Yeah.
this is a big deal. And
Yeah.
the thing that I, like, and this is, I've learned a lot of things. You guys have kind of seen me make some of those evolutions of myself, but like there was a period of my life in my early 20s where I was buying a car every year
Yeah.
because like I fell in love with the like process of having something new and different toys and what have you. And it's like that's the kind of joy to car sales and buying a car is like it's not like a house where most people buy the house and they're strapped in for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? Whereas with a car, like you could buy a new one today, take out a 5-year loan, pay it off in 5 years, or have it pretty paid down in 3 and go get another one if you really want to, But I think that's like where it also comes full circle to the experience, right? Because if the experience is good, they're way more likely to do that again with you rather than somebody else.
That free pop and free snacks gets them back,
Yeah.
Let's go.
And with that too, I mean, not even about the experience that they have within it, but when they're searching and they know that you care. And I actually, before even reading this, I found this today because I was reading this. I was sort of prepared for this podcast. We were supposed to do it earlier, fell back a little bit by about like 2 hours, so I had some time on my hands. I went through this, studied it almost.
Oh, here we go.
And so I have a few things that I just wanted to bring up. I brought up at the front. Simple quote right here, and this is a huge thing. I've seen this play out so much, but genuinely care about people. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's the thing. It's like there are so many good like little pieces in there, but it's just like my word of caution is just like take a step back, make it your own.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I would agree that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just that wasn't even coming from like trying to bring back up the Andy Elliott aspect
Right.
of it. It was more of just the experience.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
There's situations too where I'm working a deal and I'll get a second opinion from another manager about like what to say in a certain situation or something of that sort too. So it's like same thing though. Like you read Andy's book, read Grant's book.
Yeah.
Same. It all what comes around goes around.
Oh man, how'd you not point those out? He's
What?
got "Make It Your Own" here tabs
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
whole way
Yeah.
through the book.
Oh yeah, I filled quite a few of them out.
Dang. Yeah, I think it is cool that he put it in a book format. Like that's pretty neat. But the other thing too, and this is just me, like I think like the objections practice is great, and a lot of people
Yeah,
have.
me and him do that like with
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Right, but I think too, when it comes to objections, like I have pretty much like my own weird little opinion. The thing with objections, and like if you're having a really tough time like proceeding forward in the sale, is just knowing personally, and this is another thing that I feel like is a hard thing with his YouTube videos at least, because I've watched a lot of his YouTube videos where he'll be, like, don't let them leave. Pressure, 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 right? And I think like the big thing is where I've kind of found is like that you have to know where that gray area is, like
Yeah.
that line in the sand of like when is too much, right?
Like you're not doing that to a Volvo customer.
yeah,
I remember.
exactly.
It's funny. So, just for a relatable sense, if you push somebody too hard, I've done it before, and it wasn't even like I was trying to push them too hard, but it was just like it was close to bonus.
Right.
So you sort of pressed on the gas a little bit, and it was a Volvo customer. To give you guys an idea, Volvo customers usually, I'd say, 9 out of 20 times, or
Three
19
visits.
out of 20 times, they do not buy on the first time.
3 visits.
Like I've had one, I've worked with multiple, like probably, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 Volvo customers within this year. And all of them want to look at a whole bunch of options, which is fine. I understand the luxurious market. And I've had one person buy the day they looked at it.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
nuts too. Like they're comparing decimals.
Yeah.
Right.
And I pressured this guy too much to the point where like he threatened to call the cops on me. basically, because we did a trade appraisal, and my manager, like I basically just forgot to grab his key and give it to him, and came back down with numbers, and he was like, if you don't grab my key now, then I'm gonna call the cops, and yeah, so there is a fine line.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I mean, every now and then,
Right.
like touching the water and seeing where it is good to know.
And I think that's like, if somebody's watching this is thinking about getting into sales, that's where you kind of have to figure that out with every single person you encounter, because like there are a lot of people that like are used to it, and maybe they bought 30, 40, 50 cars in their lifetime and are expecting it because that's how the business has been for a really long time. But then you might have an 18-year-old that comes in here that it's their first time ever buying a car, and they're already mentally freaking out,
Yeah.
and then you start pressuring them, and it's like, and you just can watch them shut
First
down.
away.
Yeah, and so I think that's like the one thing that like I would tell people is just be careful with that, because like the last thing, I've said it in a couple of the other podcasts, but like the last thing you want is to burn a bridge, right? Because like this business is more about people than the cars, and you want them more as a friend than somebody that was like, oh, that dude was too pushy. And it's like have you guys ever heard the 6 rings of like 6 degrees, theory of 6 degrees? So the theory of 6 degrees is essentially that within 6 people, like somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, you can touch every single person in the world, right? And so it's like what that person leaves and tells somebody else, and what they tell somebody else,
Word of mouth,
and they tell somebody else, right? And so that's why, like, as as you're trying to apply pressure, it becomes very important to be mindful of that line, right? And I think that's something that like I've never noticed in any of his training videos. But the other thing that I think is important to keep in mind when you're watching an Andy Elliott video is like, who is his audience, right? Because like a lot of the videos I've watched are in like conference rooms with managers from dealerships, right? And him grilling them on how to get volume up and how to better sales tactics, right? And all that kind of stuff. And it's like, those guys are used to that world, right? It's like not every customer is. So I guess that's just my hot take on it. But
I love it.
Yeah.
Another thing too, like carrying energy. First thing me and him do every morning. He opens up his door. I'm standing there in the hallway. Hi, welcome to Champion Ford.
I'll tell you, it's actually like
it's beneficial.
It is because
the energy is
the
just
mindset.
still going.
Yeah.
And then the whole time we're driving here. Hey, what brings you in today?
Yeah. Right.
Like it's
hi, I'm James. like,
it's
Right.
it's fun.
yeah.
But yeah, I think we're
about wrapped up. Yeah,
wrapped up.
Yeah.
Gotta hurry up before the phone
So-
battery dies.
I think the big thing here is open to opinions. What do you guys think of Andy Elliott?
Yeah.
Love him?
You think
Hate
he's
him?
been beneficial? What do you say?
Yeah. And
Listen to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
That's the big
Use
thing.
your resources.
Yeah.
There's with the internet out there. There's so much utility,
exactly.
so much. And if you're in the business and you're not using somebody, then you're missing out.
Yeah.
Besides
really-
Russ Flip Lips. Don't use him.
Self-training is important. That's what they meant to say.
100%.
He sucks.
So
All right,
yeah, guys.
This is the Lot Walkers podcast. It was a pleasure to have everybody that was watching with us today. But yeah, I still think Andy isn't the best coach in the world. Sorry, boys.
It's all right. And on the next podcast too that we are doing, we do plan on talking about car buying mistakes, and so sort of just keep in touch with that. Next time we roll around, you can get some really useful information. So next time that you buy a car, you're making sure that you're doing it the right action at the right pace with the right circumstances.
Yeah. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. It'll let you know when we upload the next video if you're excited to see that. And as always, like, comment, share. Helps us out so we can keep doing this, grow it into,
Peace.
what we really want to.